So in this video, I'm gonna tell you how to become a high frequency person so that way you're able to disaway yourself from all the negative people and the people bringing you down, because our goal is to become a multi-millionaire. And the way to do that is not to think like everybody else, not to be like the rest of those 99% of people. And if we want to be otherwise than those 99% of people, we're gonna have to think differently, we're gonna have to do things differently, and we're also gonna have to have a different voice in our head that allows us to continue pushing forward. So I'm gonna teach you how to do that exactly in this video, as well as like a little bit of some mindset shifts. I'm not gonna make it a mindset video, but I wanted to make sure that you're able to step away from this video with action steps, and as well as how to be able to just walk away from all those bad people and change the way you think, change the way you operate to become that new version of yourself, okay? So the first thing on how to attain a high frequency and dominate the day is understanding what are the actual vibrational states there are and what does it actually mean, okay? You probably have heard me say like, hey, there's a realm of you being homeless, there's a realm of you making $30,000 per month. You have to balance between those and make sure you operate in the right category, okay? Because I'm guessing your goal is not to be homeless, so let's make sure we don't have that happen, all right? So I have it in little writing here. What actually contributes to the decisions and the actions that you take on a daily basis? Because as you know, actions on a daily basis is what's going to move the needle forward over a longer span of time, for example, weeks, months, years. But what actually contributes to that, and how can you affect, the way that you operate on a daily basis, okay? So I like to say it as 10% conscious mind and 90% subconscious mind. If you have not heard, you should pay attention. So for example, the conscious mind is like, let's take an example. I'm not saying you are, but let's say somebody that wants to consciously go out on Friday, Saturday night and go to a party or whatever with their friends. That's you making that decision in real time, and you can apply that to other aspects in life. But the subconscious mind is what somebody does on a daily basis and actually brings them towards their goals, which is, for example, it can be either way. It can be positive or it can be negative. Positively, it's you, noticing like, hey, it's 5 p.m. I usually go to the gym at this time. I usually go to sleep at this time. That is what the subconscious mind is. And you can alter, and I'm going to teach you how to alter that way of thinking, because if you're able to change that little voice in the back of your head and what you're doing on a daily basis, you're going to massively change the directory of your existence, of like what you're actually doing. Okay, I know existence may be like a big word of like, your purpose and everything, but what you're doing on a daily basis to get you to your goals, okay? So the subconscious mind can be altered by beliefs, emotions, feelings, habits, and long-term memory. So emotions and feelings play a big role into this, because if you're not feeling in a good way, you're probably not going to want to do that thing. And if you're feeling positive in a thing that could potentially be harmful to you, for example, if you're like scrolling on Instagram or you're scrolling TikTok, it might feel good in the moment, but 30 minutes later when you're actually noticing like, shoot, I could have spent 20 minutes reading a book, I could have spent 20 minutes doing some research on a skill of how to make more money. So there's actually a great book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. I definitely recommend it if you're like a beginner in this whole thing, but it talks a lot about habits, and habits is a big part of the subconscious mind, of altering your subconscious mind. Because if you're able to create a habit of, for example, flicking on the light switch when you go into the bathroom, that could be one of your things that just commonly happens to your subconscious mind. And the way that I adjusted my subconscious mind, because once I actually was at $10,000-ish per month, and I realized, and I had a mentor tell me, you can actually change the way you think. And this is exactly what I did, and that's why exactly I'm telling you about this, because I want you to level up, so that's why you should subscribe. But the reason I did this is because I was able to change my thoughts and what I actually perceived as possible. So what I did is I made a audio recording of maybe 1 minute long of what my life wanted to look like. I had 6 employees, I was making $100,000 per month, or actually I said in that recording $60,000 per month, but my next goal is $100,000 per month, right? Which is why I said that first. But I would essentially say what I wanted life. For example, it could be like you wanted to get in 10% body fat. Maybe you just wanted to go to the gym every single day. Maybe it's you wanted to make 3 Instagram stories for your business profile. Whatever it might be, you could you can voice it out and act like in present tense, like you have that already. And what I would do is I'd put it in this audio type of software where I would put it on loop. I'd put it on repeat, and I'd put a firing up song, like something that would let me up, right? And I just made an audio recording of that. And what that did is it allowed me to essentially just listen to where my present was at, and I made myself transform to being into that. If you don't know already, we signed 30 clients last month in the month of November, as well as this month. We've already probably signed around 10 to 15 clients, a little bit slower because it's right now the 20th of December, but it's definitely the slower season for the agency space. But it's not too bad considering the time of the year that we're in, right? And it's eventually we might be able to hit $100,000 per month in January, February. So I'm really excited about it, and that's why I'm documenting everything here. So that's why you should stick along and subscribe if you want to get to that same run rate. And it's not like by selling courses or any of that bullshit, by actual owning a real business. So as well as long-term memory, like with your subconscious mind, if you are able to adjust something one time and you do it maybe 5 days in a row, that is going to long-term play out, and it could be positive or negative. As I said earlier, it could be positively, like maybe you start going to sleep earlier and it just flicks your circadian rhythm, and now you're going to sleep earlier. And it can also be a negative way. Maybe you stop going to the gym, and then one time you go to the gym in the morning, one time you go to the gym in the night, and it's just all over the place, and then you're not able to consistently have it compound like it should usually be. So I hope that was a good brief explanation, and now I'm going to cover vibrational states, right, which is the realms of you being in different energy states. Okay, so you can feel certain feelings, moods, events vibrate at different frequencies. Okay, you have to understand this. It's the reason why some people are going to fill you with energy and others are going to drain you. If you've maybe ever noticed, I've won some coffee with some really high level entrepreneurs, maybe even talked to some over Instagram DMs where I connected with, and you can literally feel the brotherhood. Like, you can feel how lit up you can be by having a conversation with somebody who's at a higher level, right? But if you're maybe still stuck with, if you were watching this, and I used to be the same way, like 1 year ago, nobody liked me in school. I was literally fat, and I don't blame him, right? I was no value, right? And over that span of that school year, I actually lost weight. I lost like 10 pounds, and I transformed my life. I also started working on my business, and then just this summer, we went from 5K to 35K per month in just 2 months, and I was still in school. Like, I literally made that happen while I was in school over the summer. So you want to surround yourself around the right people, and that time will eventually come if you don't have it right now. So don't worry about it, okay? It's the reason why some people are lucky and also why some people are unlucky, all right? A lot of people would say like overnight success, and they would call me an overnight success as well. But you have to realize the time that was put in over the time, all the years, and I've been doing this since I was like 11, 12 years old. I also grew another channel of mine to 12,500 subscribers, a gaming channel, but I don't do that shit anymore. It made like 2K, but that's not too bad for a 12-year-old, right? And you have to give yourself and make yourself your own luck. I made a separate video specifically on how to create your own luck, because it's actually truly phenomenal on how you can do that. But when you vibrate on a low frequency, it makes you realize like what's not possible. Like, for example, I actually might go to another country with a couple guys in a crazy villa next month. We're still figuring out the plans if we're going to do it or not. But when I heard that, I was like, okay, let me collect 4K cash right now and then just pay for the villa. Fuck it, whatever. So, right? And I was like, okay, let me just actually go do that. And then it collected like 2 or 3K. So it was pretty cool. Like, for my clients that I just kind of forgot about. Like, I was like, I just out of nowhere, I was like, okay, let me actually just collect their dues, and just made it happen, right? So when you vibrate at a low frequency, that's what you're going to attract. So you want to make sure you're surrounding yourself around the right people, and that's why it's so important to vibrate at a high frequency, okay? You can see here, for example, of what it looked like for me being at this level, but I was scared, I was complaining, I was whining about the bad things and my situation, the cards that were dealt to me. And I believe that truly, if you want to change, like, even not your own life, but maybe even others, like your family, or I'm not saying I'm brought up from a horrible place or so. I was provided as much as could have been to me. I'm grateful for that. But you should be wanting to give back to others and really just provide those with a happy life, because that's the whole goal of this. Like, you reproduce, and you're making that opportunity of living even greater for the next bloodline, right? The next offspring, right? So that should be pretty much your goal as a man. And if you're not doing that, quite frankly, you are literally going to be the rest of the 99% of people, because 99% of the people these days, they're not in shape. They don't ever get to see their six-pack, which is actually crazy. And you don't want to operate at a level of scarcity. When you are scarce, you are in a low vibration thinking of what you don't have. But in reality, you have everything. You have nothing to lose. So you just have to go after it, right? But abundance is believing that you already have it. As I was going back to earlier, thinking about the subconscious, replaying that voice note so that you become that person worthy of being whatever the top echelon of what you have set your goal to be. Imagine if you knew 1 month that you would receive $1 million. You'd probably walk through the street like where I'm at right now in New York City. I'd probably be like, walking as the top man. But you have to be walking as the top man every single day that you're alive to attract the wealth, to attract the money. Okay, operate at a high vibration. I don't know what else to tell you, right? So you would have to think, how would your emotions and your behavior change? How would it feeling like, let's say you have $500 in your bank account. How would it feeling like you could just spend that $500 tomorrow because you're going to get $1 million tomorrow? You would operate at a high level, okay? This is how the abundant mind thinks, thinking that everything will come to you. Everything will come, all right? So this was literally probably me actually it was not too long ago, probably March of this year. I couldn't even bench 135, right? And the mindset is not, right? You want to have the mindset of all misfortunes are blessings in disguise, okay? Because God's plan is much bigger than your own, right? If you have a plan and you have something that you want to keep chasing, it is there for a reason, right? You want to believe, because at the end of the day, what are we here to do? It's your purpose, right? And a lot of people will probably be lost with their purposes, which is why they drink, they go out with friends, they party and stuff like that. Oh, go have fun while you're a child, right? Because, there's so much more to life. No, there's no much more to life. That's what they think. So you have to realize that you have a plan, a destiny for you. And I had the destiny of, I was literally getting in trouble in schools, going school to school, and it was my fault. I took responsibility for that. And one time I went from watching anime, being fat, to now, okay, being a person that is worthy and capable of having the physique, having the business, and having whatever I wanted, okay? So I stopped viewing the unexpected and whatever was to come to me as negative. I saw it as a way of okay, this is what builds me. This is my story. This is what makes me live, okay? So you have to look at it the same way, and you are one step away from a new perspective, and all you have to do is change the way you think. If you change the way you think, there's a difference between somebody being a billionaire and a millionaire. The only difference is maybe, the knowledge and whatnot, but it's also the way they think and how they operate, all right? So one day you will be thankful that life didn't go to plan, because other things eventually just happened in your life, and then they went, fortunately, in the right direction for you, okay? So your plan is fucking boring, okay? You have to realize this, because you are meant for so much more, and you have so much better things that are in store for you, but you just have to, maybe just look out, right? And just ask for it, okay? And when you realize that the universe is forever giving, you are possibly be able to literally quantum leap and just get whatever you want. I'm not even just joking about this. It sounds so woo-woo, but it is for real. You can literally ask what you want and get it. You just have to put in the work, and eventually you will see this is exactly what you were asking for this whole time. You asked to have the food on the plate, but once you realize there's so much food on the plate, that's what you were asking for at the beginning. So find use in your problems, right? You'll probably eventually, when you're a business owner like me, right, and you have 100 problems, you'll realize prioritize the right things that need to be prioritized, and you're going to find use in your problems and realize this is what is meant to build me. Don't express your dissatisfaction, okay? You have to ignore the bad news, cherish the good news for whatever good comes to you, and this will bring you into a positive state for manifesting whatever the hell you want, okay? This can put you on a plane of your new life, to your new destiny, and you have to change that just how I changed mine, because anything is possible once you put your mind to it. A positive attitude always leads to success and creation of great things, right? And great value and great purpose for why you were here in the first place, okay? So how to prime yourself every single morning, right? Maybe you can do some meditation. I do really recommend that, because I do that 10 to 15 minutes in the morning. I listen to this Spotify playlist. I can link it if you want. Just comment down below. I'll put a link. And I would just gratitude, whatever I'm grateful for. So I'd write 3 to 5 things that I'm grateful for. And then I would exercise. I'd probably go to the gym around anywhere from 7 to 10 a.m. I know it's a pretty wide range, but hey, when you're a business owner and you're trying to hit 100K per month, that's your priority, right? So just a byproduct of actually being, the person worthy of is other things of your life. You'll realize hey, me getting healthy and eating the right foods and doing what is right on a daily basis has a byproduct. For example, a byproduct like that can be money, right? There's people that probably do fitness coaching, and they just eat healthy, they do the right things, and then they're able to do fitness coaching. That is a byproduct of what you are doing. So you have to realize there are byproducts out there. Alright? So clarity is only going to come after you take action, okay? So you have to also indulge the positive information, right? You don't want to surround yourself around negative people. One of the things that took me from just, being 5 to 35K per month in just 2 months was dissing myself away from what negative environment that I was all this time and spending my time elsewhere where it was actually going to yield me positive returns, okay? So you don't want to be in that group. You don't want to be on that field. And you want to feel like you're the luckiest man mentality wise, okay? Because if you were thinking that, okay, I'm just, $10,000 a month would be pretty good for me. No, it's not, okay? There's people making $500, $1 million per month, okay? You are no level, like you're a level 1. So stop operating like you are just like, it's okay to be at $5,000 to $10,000 per month. It's gonna change my life. You have to take on risk, because if you don't take on risk, you're not going to see crazy returns. So the bigger the risk, the better the reward. So if you did enjoy this one, I hope you got a ton of value from this. Subscribe, as well as drop a like, because I do want this to get to more people, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Boom! Boom! Boom!